Hello dear students, how are you? I wish all of you will be healthy and safe. So student, today I am going to discuss tuples. It's a very important topic, tuples. What is tuple? A tuple is a collection of objects just like list which ordered and immutable. What do you mean by ordered? It has a specific, each element has the specific position and it is immutable, means the elements once stored in tuple cannot be changed. Okay. So tuples are sequences just like list. It is similar to list. The difference between tuple and list are tuples cannot be changed because tuples are immutable. So tuples cannot be changed unlike list and list. Okay. In list you can change the element, but in tuples you cannot. Okay. So tuples use parenthesis, but in list you use square bracket. Okay. The way of creating tuples is similar to list. So how to create a tuple? It's very simple. First of all, write down the name of the tuple. Okay, first of all, increase the size like this. T1 equals to use parenthesis. Okay, and here you have to write down the element by separating comma. Okay, 12, 34, 56 like this. So this is your tuple. And if you want to print, so print your tuple. Okay, if you print it, you will get the items of the tuple. Okay, so you have to keep in mind, whenever you create a tuple you have to use the parenthesis, but whenever you create a list you use a square bracket instead of parenthesis. Okay, so how to create a tuple without elements, blank tuple? For this you have to do nothing, you have to use simple parenthesis. So if this is the empty tuple, okay, you print it, you will get nothing. Okay, so it is the empty tuple. Okay, if you want to create a tuple with single element, so in this case if you store like this, suppose you have only single element like this 50. Okay, so in this case this is not a tuple, it is just a integer. If you use this, now you are getting simple 50, not a tuple. If it is a tuple, then you will see the parenthesis, but here there is no parenthesis, so it means it is not a tuple. So creating a tuple with single element, you have to use a single comma. Okay, if you have single element in your tuple, so you have to use single comma after the element. So it is your tuple now. Okay, so run it. Now you can see the parenthesis. Now it is a tuple. If you don't use this comma, so in this case it is not a tuple, it is just a simple integer. Okay, so you can use without using parenthesis, you can create a tuple also. Okay, like this. If you want to store the elements like this, sorry, 13, 9 like this. So it is also a tuple. If you print it, you will get the elements in the form of parentheses. Okay, so this is the way to create a tuple. You can use direct the tuple keyword also. Okay, write down here, okay, tuple, and write down the elements by separating comma like this. Okay, okay, tuple is one argument. Okay, here you have to pass a single element, not a multiple element. Okay, so here you will, just like a list, you have to pass a single element. Here you are passing a simple single element, that is tuple. Okay, if you want to store a list, you can take list also. Okay, so this is the way to create a tuple. Okay, you can use square bracket also here. If you use square bracket, it will automatically convert it into tuple. Okay, so this is your tuple. So using tuple keyword, you can create a tuple also. Okay, so next one is accessing values in tuples. So how can we access the values in tuples? Okay, it is similar as we access the elements in string or in list also. Okay. So now, so there are two types of indexing as we have in the list. So in forward indexing and in the backward indexing. In the forward indexing, the index number of first element is 0 and second element is 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Okay, this is the forward indexing. In the backward indexing, the last elements index is -1, -2, -3 and so on. Okay, as you know. So you can access the tuple element just like you access the list elements. Okay, and we'll give the element ith index of the tuple. If you pass this tuple I means index number. Okay, it will give the value of ith index in a tuple. Let's see. Suppose you have this tuple. Okay, if you want to access the element of first index, now write on print t1 and write on 1. You want the value of first index, so write on here first. Okay, so print it. Now you will get 85 because in the first index this is the 0 and this is the 1. In the first index you will have 85, so you will get 85 here. Okay, so now tuple A column B, this is the way to slice the tuple, just like the slice the string, slice the list. Okay, like this. If I use here, suppose I am increasing the element like this. Like this. If I use here, I need the elements from first index to fifth index. Okay, now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth index. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here you will get the elements 1 to 4 because here it executes the element -1. Okay, so if you print the elements, you will get this is the 1, 2, 3, 4. It will not include the fifth position, as you know. So it will print the 4 elements. Like this, you can slice the tuple also. Okay. If you want to print the tuple in reverse order, it's simple as we reverse the string like this. Okay. If you print this, now you will get the tuple in reverse order. Okay. Let's move. Okay. Okay, now how to update the tuples? Since the tuples are immutable, so you cannot update or change the values of tuple. So in this case, you have to create a new tuple if you want to update the tuple. Let's see. For example, so you have a tuple 1 like this and you have the tuple 2 like this. The following action cannot be valid. If you want to change the tuple 1 0 equal to 1, here you have the 12. If you want to update in the 0th index, if you want to update it 100, it is not possible. Let's see. Suppose here in the first index, in the 0th index I have 45, but I want to change like this. The t 0th index element will be equals to, for example, 200. Okay, and I want to print the tuple. Now print t1. So now in this case it will raise the error because the tuple object does not support the item assignment. So here it is not possible. You cannot update the element. If it is a list, then it is possible, but in the case of tuple it is not possible. Suppose if you have a list here. Okay, so in list it is possible. In list, now you can see in the 0th index I have 45, but and I have changed the 0th index element to 200. Now you can print. After printing, you will get the updated value. But in the case of tuple, it is not possible. The updation is not possible in tuple. Okay, in this case, you will get the error. It is not possible. Okay, so whenever you create a list that cannot be changed, okay, there is no requirement to change the items of a list. So in this case you will create a tuple. For example, you have a list of days name like this. Okay, so days name never changes. So here you can write here like this: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So these name never change. So that's why in this case I will create a tuple, because there is no need to change the items like day's name, month's name, date of, and so on. There are a lot of items that there is no required to change them. So in this case we use tuple, not list, because in this case there is no need to change the value. Okay, so you can change, you can create a new tuple also by adding them, by concatenating them like this. Suppose if you want to change the updation, right, here in the day's name, here this is your day's name 1. Okay, so now pressing Ctrl D you can copy the list directly. Now here write down day's name 2. This is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and now I have Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. Okay. Friday and Saturday. Okay, so this is the tuple 1 and this is the tuple 2, but I want to get a tuple with these two tuples. So in this case what you will do, write down the final days equals to days name 1 plus days name 2. Okay, if you print final days, now you will get the result. Okay, okay, what is the problem? What is the problem? Days name 1 tuple. Okay. Here you have to pass the single parameter, so include a single parenthesis more. Okay, since you are using the tuple keyword. If you are not using the tuple keyword, then it will be automatically created a tuple. Okay, if you don't change, if you write down like this, now it will be your tuple also. So there is no need to write down the tuple keyword. Okay, if you print the, now you can see. So it is possible, but you cannot change the already created tuple, but you can create a new tuple. So here final days is the new tuple. Okay, so this contains the first tuple, items of first tuple and items of second tuple. Okay, now so how to take the elements as an input from the user? It's very simple. As you take the elements in list, similarly you can take the elements in the tuple also like this. Okay, I think there is no need of this, so write down here items equals to, here write down, you need a tuple, so write down the tuple and write down the input keyword input and enter the numbers, enter the numbers. Okay, so this is your tuples. The name of this tuple is items. Okay, now write down and print your items. Okay, now it is asking for the numbers, so write down your elements using space. Now this is your tuple here. Okay, so this is your complete tuple. Here it is including, basically it is the, you are not using the split keyword, that's why it is including the space also. If I use here the split keyword, now it will treat it as a okay, you have to use the split keyword using input function, not tuple. Okay, enter the numbers. Okay, so now in this way you can get the elements whenever you run the program. Okay, using input keyword. You have to remember the split function works with input keyword, not tuple. If you use this split function outside the input function, so its split function cannot work with tuple. That's why previously it was raising the error. Okay. Next one is how to similarity between tuples and list. Okay, function len returns the number of elements as we find the number of elements in the list or string. Okay, let's see. Suppose you have passed some elements, and if you want the length of the, so write down here length of items. Okay, so it will count the number of elements. Enter the numbers 78, 18. Okay, so how many elements I have passed? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So len function returns the number of elements. Okay, so now membership of indexing and slicing is same as we have discussed earlier. Okay, about the indexing and slicing. Okay, now membership operator. So both in and not in operators works on tuples like in string also. So I tells if an element is present in, and not in does the opposite. Okay, so in and not in, as you are familiar with in and not in functions, so I am not going in detail about in and not in. You are familiar with. So concatenation operator works. It is used to join the two tuple like list. Okay, so replication, so asterisk operator repeats the tuple like this. If you pass the item here, write down items asterisk 3. Okay, if you run the program, it will print your tuples 3 times as you have passed 3 here. Okay, enter the number 7, 8, 89 and 96 here. So it will print your tuple thrice, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so what is the difference? The major difference between list and tuples is lists are mutable, but tuples and strings are immutable. So in list you can change the value, but in tuple and string you cannot change the value. Now it's time to discuss some functions, methods of tuples. Okay, len function, as I have discussed about the len function, the max, it returns the item from the tuple which is the highest value. As you know, the max function returns the maximum value in the tuple. Let's say if you pass, sorry, here I have defined a tuple like this: 89, 85, 78, 100 and 2. If I print here max, what? Find out the maximum items. Okay, if you run this program, so you will get 100, because in this tuple you have the 100, the highest value. Similarly, you can pass minimum, min. If you run this program, you will get the minimum value. So here the minimum value is 2. Clear? Okay. So sum function, this function returns the arithmetic sum of all items in the tuple. So you have to remember, using min function, max function, sum function, you have to pass the values in the form of decimal or integer, not a string, because if you pass the string value, then sum function, max and min will not work. Okay, so write down here sum. So write down here print sum of these items. If you pass this, so you will get the sum of all these items. Okay, so next function is sorted. So this function returns a sorted version of a tuple. So using sorted function, you can, the sorting is in ascending order. It does not modify the original tuple. Okay, so in this case you have to create a new tuple. Okay, so write down here sorted. Okay. If you pass this, now all items are in the form of sorted. Okay, you are here, you are getting the list, not a tuple, because the tuples cannot be changed. That's why you are getting a new list. If you want a tuple in sorted order, so in this case what you have to do, in this case you have to take another tuple like this, and you have to convert it into tuple. because you get the list. You will get the list. That's why I am using the tuple keyword. Okay, what is the on my end of while? What is the problem? Sure, then you will get the tuple sorted items. It will list sorted. Okay. One, two. Sorry, one parenthesis is missing. That's why it is reaching the error. Okay, and you have to print. Now print what? Short items. So this is your tuple. So using sorted function, I am getting the sorted tuple. So here it will return a list. But I want to convert it into tuples. That's why I am using this tuple keyword. So this tuple keyword will change this list into tuple. Okay. If you print it, so in this way you will get a tuple in sorted order. Clear? Okay. The next one is tuple. We are discussing about the tuple. It function converts another construct into Python tuple, because the tuple function basically we used whenever we want to change a particular list into tuple, particular items into tuple. Okay, so like this. Suppose you have a list here. If you use the tuple keyword, it will be converted into tuple. Suppose you have a string here. If you use the tuple keyword, it will be converted into tuple. Okay, as we are converting this list here, you will get a list, but using tuple keyword you will convert this list into tuple. So this is the function of tuple keyword. Okay, so next function is index. Okay, so this function return the index number of the particular element. So suppose here if you pass 2, so here in the 0 and 1th, in the 1th index you have 2, so it will return 1. Suppose you have a tuple here. If I want to check the index number of 100, okay, so it will return the index number of 100. Now you can see the value 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is the function of this index function. Okay, so next function is count function. So this function finds the frequency of a particular element in a tuple. Let's see how. The syntax is simple. Here you will pass the tuple dot count, and here you will pass the element for which you want the frequency. Okay, suppose here in this tuple I have 100 2 times. Okay, pass items. This is your tuple, and pass dot count 100. Okay, so it will return 2 because you have 100 2 times. If you write down 100 one time more, then it will return here 3. Okay, it is returning 3. So this is about the tuple. So students, enough for this session. In the next video we will discuss some programs based on tuples. Thank you. Have a nice day. Be healthy. Be safe.